Okay. Hello, everyone. The one person, which is probably my wife, watching right now, but thanks for joining me. So still a little sick, but I'm going to try and actually get these corridors done today. So that's the plan here. Shut the music a little down. Just it's easier to think. Okay. So the thing that I want to do here is first create the system that can path corridors from any, like if I set 3 points, or 4 points, or just 2 points, it'll create a corridor for me. Once I set that up, then I can reapply that to my generation, and hook that up, and then generate the corridors at whim. And so I've done kind of some thinking about this. And the way I want to set this up, I guess if I was going to draw it, I don't want sketchbook, but let's switch this like paint, right? Paint. Right? All good. Planning starts in paint. So say I had a point here and a point here, right? So I want to find the middle there of it, and then I know that's the junction. Obviously, if it's straight, it just kind of makes a corridor like that. But say I have my little doorway here, and I have a doorway here. Well, I find the middle here, and I know that then there's a junction, right? So I have to do this, and do that, and then do that. Right, so then you just make straight lines to that junction point, and you turn, and then you go in. Right, and so that's how that type of function would work. And then supposedly that if like these doors were not facing each other, but instead they were like this, then you would still find the junction point, which is where they meet, and then you just draw straight lines to that junction point. So basically, once you find the junction point, it's up to these guys to get to that junction point. Right, so instead of figuring out kind of like dynamically how to path from here all the way to there, we just kind of figure out, hey, this is a point that everyone can get to, and then everyone just figure out your way to get there. And I think that's going to work the best. The other thing that I'm going to have to figure out, so like say in this case where I just had these two, right? But then I say I have another one here. So then I need to be able to override where the junction point is. In this case, I'd actually want it here, because then this one can just cleanly get to it, and this one can still get to it there. So we just kind of define that the junction point is actually there. Maybe do we define 2 junction points and just say that like this has to connect over here. That might be one way of doing it as well. So I'll have to figure out which way I kind of want to do that later, I think. But that's kind of the general idea, is that you find the middle kind of junction point, and that's where you use to adjust all further calculations. That's how I'm going to set up. So going from here, just don't have Unity underneath this so it's a little darker. I'm going to look at this generation part. And first thing actually I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the corridor array, I think, with, I'm going to just explicitly call out what the corridor pieces are, because to a degree I could use the array and then dynamically figure them out and then figure it out from there, but I don't want to have to do that. I'm going to go private corridor. And the only, so I'm gonna like have like corridor straight pieces. But the question is, do I want to have an ability for variance, or do I not care? I guess I should have. Future planning, I might want the ability for variance. So I'll just do this, even though most of these are going to be probably one item lists. So corridor, I'm gonna go straight piece, and then I was also gonna make a straight aft piece. I guess pieces, so I should big this. Pieces, and then I'm gonna go corner pieces and not half. Just corner. It should be. Zoom this in. Zoom it in. Oh, this is how I zoom. Okay, let's make it a little bit bigger. And then three white pieces, and then cross pieces, and that should be the. I mean, I guess I need to define the diagonal. I just hate the diagonals. They look so ugly. But they're kind of like my. I have no other thing to do, and so I'm gonna do that. Okay, so that handles all my pieces. I'm also gonna handle this generate function to make it take in a random the system type. I do need Unity in here, so let's just go system, well, random. Why would you correct that? System. Because I am gonna need something there. And then this is just gonna be the Unity. Yeah, Unity engine dot random dot. There is like an actual. Is it state? No. I thought Unity had a random one, but I can't supply its. Maybe I'll get my game utils randomly. I might just need to expose it though. Game utils. Yeah. Let's make it public. Read only. That's good enough. I'll just put base random in here. And this is really just for testing anyways. Right, I gotta go. Game. Right, I gotta go. RB dot utils dot base random. There we go. Okay, so that'll just handle the debug case for now. I'll remove that later on. Okay. So, what is the next thing to handle here in the generate? So don't actually do this. I want to. I guess if I find the count, like going back to paint. Ideally, the first one you want to find are the ones that are like this. If you have more than two, I guess if you do have two, it doesn't really matter. But if you have three or more, I think you do want to find the ones that are crisscrossed from each other. Because if you have three, there's gonna have to be one, right? Like, by default, I really shouldn't be having situations where like I have two that are the same direction, right? Like you shouldn't have this and this as an option. even if it maybe has something like this. I don't really want doors typically to, or corridors to kind of work that way. So I'm going to try to discourage that. So in most cases, this kind of situation won't exist, in which case, and even in this case, there's obviously doors that cross, but like, I guess even worst case, like there shouldn't be situations where we have something like this. Oh, I guess that was precious. It's precious. Shouldn't be a situation where we have like a door that's facing that way, a door that's this way, and a door that's this way. That should not be a thing that happens. So there should pretty much always be a junction point. Now, I guess, does it matter though, really, if I find this first? Because it could be stated that if I did this one, right, like, it doesn't really matter, I take this, and then I try to find this junction point with these guys. And that could work out. Let's see, like, I guess in any order, right? So if I figured out these ones first, right, I would get this point, and then this guy would connect over to there, right? If I get these guys out first, I would connect over here, and then this guy would connect in. And so I guess, yeah, this one doesn't really matter if you connect any which one in any order. Now, it might matter if I had something like this guy. Let's see. If, like, this guy is coming down, right? So he wants to be connected here. So, if these two guys connect first, they find a point here. And this guy comes along and says, well, I'm not facing that direction. So my junction point, I guess, would be between here and here. Or I can make it to that junction point, so I'll just make it to that junction point. And then if these two guys were first, they would find a junction point here and here, so they would find this junction point, and this guy would line and find that he can intersect on that line and connect himself there. So that would work. And then the other one, which is this one, is these guys would figure out that their center point is kind of there, and figure out that they have to get there and get there. Okay. I think that's okay. So the main thing is that they're trying to find where, like, the two lines meet, and if they're facing the same direction, they're going to meet in the middle. But if they're not facing right there, you just find the point that they intersect. I think that's okay. So if I do that as a kind of plan, doesn't really matter which way order I go. I can just, like, take the first one, take the second one, plan them out, and then figure it out from there. I lost the account. What was I gonna actually do here? It's all good to kind of say that, but then you actually have to do that in code. So I'm going to take the first two, figure out their points, and then if I have more than that, then I kind of add to that point. So I need to kind of define points. I also will probably have to pass in eventually The spawned rooms. I'll need to know about those to avoid. But I'll get to that point, I guess, when I get to it instead. Because there's probably some ways that they can F this up. But if we're gonna just get around that first. I'll just start with this. Okay, so 4. Or do I just... I don't start even with a 4. If to connect is less than 1 or less than 2. I guess if it equals 0 first, I'll just say if it equals dot count equals 0, I'm just gonna return just like nothing to build. Nothing to build. Okay, so that case is just done. And then if to connect dot count equals 1. I guess I should also have a corridor for. Should I have a corridor or should I have a room for the storage closets? I guess I'm just gonna call them rooms. Private rooms for now. Storage closets. I guess I should be underscoring all these. Keep my naming convention. The private. Of course, actually, these should all be serialized as well. Serialized field. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Oh, this one too. This one also needs to be serialized. Okay. That's fine to be public because it actually needs to be set. Okay. I guess though by that meaning it should also be higher up to keep with that form. Okay. So now if to connect it has a count of 1, then we're just gonna slap a storage closet on it basically in a very quick little fashion here. So we're gonna go room storage closet equals instantiate underscore storage closets comma then I'm gonna go random dot next, and it's gonna be between 0 and underscore storage closets, not TMC style storage closets. Dot count. What about length? Because it's already length. Okay. I wonder if I should probably be doing some sort of checking here, or if I'm just gonna kind of assume that I will be smart enough to validate all these. I probably will validate all these. So I shouldn't even be in a case that I can do that. So I'll instantiate them. I will instantiate it. Oh, sorry, not in that array. On. Oh my god. Okay. No, okay, no, I do want it in this thing. Because the next value is not. The next part is going to be the position. The position is going to be I guess for storage closets, I still have to get there, like their navigation point. So let's instantiate the thing. We'll take it, take storage closet, and we'll go dot navigation points, or what is it? Door connections. Sorry, door locations. Dot get random and remove, I guess. And we're gonna go a random. We'll put in there. And so this will give me a navigation point. Location. And then probably need to go into here. So let me remind myself of how I handled all this. Maybe do I make some of this wonder if I can take some of this stuff and make it into a method. This is basically just converting these two positions and then converting them and getting a rotation. So I think I should be able to, if I take this and then visit their extract method. Let's see how good Visual Studio is at doing this. If I so like a new new method's over there. Okay, so let's I'll go F2 to rename it. And we'll go and call this find position and rotation for prefab. So putting in the prefab, we're putting in a ref for those two, and we're providing the door location that we want to connect it to and the prefab door location. I think that's pretty good, actually. No, the only thing I want to maybe do here is make this a static method then. Oh, it is already static. Sweet. Okay. Good stuff, Visual Studio. You impressed me on this one. I'm gonna put this up here, because then I can make this public. And then also use it in my corridor generator. And maybe just to make this, no, I think I'll still instantiate it and then position it. That should be fine. Map generator dot find, what's it called again? Find position. Position prefab. So prefab actually in this case is storage closet. So it's a spawn thing. I actually wonder, can I can't ref storage closet dot transform dot position, right? I don't think it'll let me because it's a brief position. It's a property, not a, yeah, okay. I just gotta ref vector 3. I'll just call it position. I wonder if it'll allow me to out variables like that. So you can do outs, but I not be able to do it with variables. Because it might have to have a value. I wonder if I can like equal 0. No, might not allow me to do that. I just have to write in vector. I'll see if it maybe if I write it and then. Alright, I'll copy equals 0. Vector 3 dot 0 is the value. So I can just ref position and then a similar thing here. Quaternion rotation. And it'll be quaternion dot identity. I'm using system.numerics. Oh yeah. Why am I using that? And then random? What if I don't use that? Like it doesn't seem to complain. Chill. Let's just do that. So then I'm roughing rotation. Next one is the door connection. So that is actually, in this case, to connect 0. And prefab connection is door location. Okay, right, okay. You know what? No, okay. Doesn't seem to be a good way to have some ref. And I have to kind of do ref because of the way it's used in here. Can't just make it outs. I think because these positions of spawns are actually placed places or assigned elsewhere. Although I don't know why it's assigned there if I always should assign it here. Oh, and I guess it's given its initial value here. It's actually interesting. So actually I should be, because I guess these parts won't matter. So it would just be door connection, transform that position. That would be basically the initial position I'd have to set it at. So if I do that logic here, I go vector 3 of 0. I would need to get the value earlier. Navigation point. So initial or room, I'll pull it room door. Room door. And then that'll equal to connect, no, 0. And position room door dot transform dot position. I can also just replace the lookup here with room door. Okay. Alright. And so found the position in the rotation for that prefab. I've placed it there and then connected it basically. Should be on that location. So then as soon as I do this, I basically go to storage closet and say dot transform dot set local set position and rotation. The position and rotation is going to be I wonder if I should set this thing's rotation instead. Or if I set like this to be position and rotation. And when I spawn this thing, I made its parent be this transform. That might work nicer. So, just to test the one element thing, let's just go do that. Now it only has 1 point. I need to recompile so that I get all my new things in. I gotta redrag everything in. Okay, so then take cross, drag it to cross. I take diagonal, drag that to diagonal. Take storage closet, drag it to storage. Oh, I haven't made storage closet. Okay. Straight half pieces because I still have to make the other thing there. That and then corner pieces. I don't know if I call them corners. I guess they're corners. Those are turns. Yeah. So I need to make storage closets into a room. And then I also need to make my longer straights because I want to have a 2x2 kind of grid that is a straight instead of just a 1. Which I might need these stop gaps, but I want the majority of them to be the full ones, just so that they're easier to kind of slot in with the other stuff. And so to do that, Let's just quickly make these all into things. So this is a room. A storage closet is. Room bounds are pretty simple. It's gonna be -6 over. No, it's just -3 over. Then -6 down. The width is 6. The height is 12. And then that one's good. I guess I gotta add the navigation point. Just duplicate a single navigation point. I'm not gonna do anything fancy there. Just move that over here and then rotate so it faces that way. And then add that in door locations. And then we go file. Storage closet is now a room. Okay, and then let's go and make the straight. So I'm gonna call this straight half, or half. Call it a half straight. And then I'm going to make a new one called straight. I'm just gonna instantly drag in here, original prefab. And I'm going to, now this one is representing this. And all I'm going to do here is take this. I see it is centered, so let's just, what have I just done? Oh god. If I okay, something is revert all. Why is it when I select multiple things, they're trying to like all? Well, it's trying to rotate everything. Yeah, that's what it's doing. It's trying to like make everything the same rotation. Now, why is that? Rachel, my transform editor. Because it should only do things if there's a change. But it could do that if... No, that's the... It should only round the rotation. Oh, it does round the rotation here. Huh. Which I guess would prompt a change. It shouldn't, because I'm not actually editing the field. That's the only thing I think that would actually... Where do I begin? Do I not have a begin change check? So that's what's happening? Like it's... Yeah, because this one has a begin. I'm surprised that's not like throwing errors. I just need to do this. And then maybe I just do... If it has multiple values, then I'm going to just say value. Otherwise, it's going to be because I just like the visualization of round rotation is nicer when it's rounded, but it's gonna cause problems like that. I definitely don't want that happening. So let's save, let's compile here. So why am I getting no refs? Wrecked in room bounds. Maybe it's like room bounds equals null. It's probably like right when it gets created. It could be null, or like Unity gives it a value. So it's just don't have that. Okay, let's just see. I select multiple. Okay, yeah, so that seems like it was it. Okay. So let's just first, we'll move this group over, then I'm gonna duplicate them all, and I'm gonna put them like that. And then I'm gonna take my little nav points, I'm going to move them over, and that one is definitely not rotated, right? I'll have to fix that in the original. Okay. And then we just gotta go -6 and 12. And then we're good. Okay, so let's go and actually go fix the other one, because I don't want to forget about that, because I will forget about it if I let it go any longer. So yeah, you can see it's just out there. Nav points, U 90. Okay. Override supplier. There we go. Sweet. Now back to what I was doing. Just get straight back in halfway. This guy actually should still be in prefab world system. And now I can drag the straight into here and the storage closet into here. Okay. And then I have 1 point, so when I click play here, well, I mean, it create something. Wasn't it supposed to be? It's supposed to be connecting this point. So, oh. Yeah, something definitely was off. Did it? Oh, it didn't. Okay. So I mean that would be closer if then. Check. Is it even? If I rotated it. No, because it would have to be more over to the left. Okay, so a few things. At least I know a few things that I can fix. Go storage here, storage closet dot transform dot. I think I can just doesn't. Oh, I thought I had a reset function. Set local position rotation. And then it's going to be vector 3.0 and returning in dot identity. Okay, so I'll set that position and keep going. So that was at least part of it. It was also seemingly, I guess, doing the whole thing inversed, it almost seemed. So I wonder why that was. It might be just because it was spawned in such a weird way. So that could be just the entire problem. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I got my little storage closet being added there. Because that basically handles the dud ends. Anything that's just gonna be a side end will just be spawned like that. Okay. Okay. Now, one thought I just had here is whether or not this thing, I should have one of these per corridor, or should I just like have one of these things globally that map generator uses. I mean, I guess I could even just have this in map generator and then eventually use that code. I could merge it in basically so that the map generator just has this logic. I might end up doing it eventually. But for now, it kind of works. But if I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do the whole... I'm not going to reference this direct transform. I'm probably going to create a game object corridor holder and equal it to new game object corridor. I'll probably name it better eventually, but then I can just use this guy whenever I would use base transform. And so then this kind of is divorced from the actual thing that ends up being created. Okay, still same output. Actually, I might need to recompile the code to make sure actually. Okay, there we go. And so now on to more exciting things, because obviously that's just a single storage container that doesn't really add much. So what I want to do here next is, at this point basically I know there's two or more. So I'm going to get the first two to create the initial junction point that I was talking about. And then once I get that initial junction point, at that point, then I'm going to connect the two. I think that's what I'm going to do, yeah. Okay, so let's just get the two navigation points. Navigation point, I'll call it point A, and I'll have point B, basically. I did not spell point right. Point. Point A equals to connect of 0. And then copy C, copy V, and then copy point B will be this. Okay. Now, this is the thing that I'm gonna have to find their like junction point, and I'm probably gonna make a separate method for this because I will have to eventually add more. But actually, I guess in those ones it will be a little bit different because they'll be kind of like joining a line. Essentially, we'll like, I think essentially I want to draw a line, right? So I draw lines which are 2 points, right? And then I want to find if a particular vector will intersect with that line, right? So the vector starting at a start point will intersect with this point at some point. That's kind of how I'm working here. I just want to see if Unity vector math has stuff with that, and I might have to convert it. I want to see if vector 3 first has something, and then if it doesn't, then I might actually look at vector 2 because it might also have something. So reflect, project. Quickly, let's just look at vector 2. No. Start to intersect. I want to know if there's like any method. There's bounds intersect. I wonder. So these are physics. Yeah. Because I don't want to deal with physics. Yeah, I mean, it's inter-experimental, so it's probably not the greatest thing to lay my hat on there, but okay, well, just have to rely on some memory of like grade 8 math to get me through this next part. Said I'd never need it. I'm going to first check. Okay, so the difference obviously is either they're pointing directly at each other, in which case they're never going to intersect, or they're pointing in some direction, crisscrossing. And I will figure out their point differently. That is the case. So, let's do that then first. So, we go float dot. And I go vector 3 dot of point A and dot forward. Transform dot forward. I know it's like super nerdy, but I really love the dot function. It's so cool. It's the coolest function. And I get excited whenever I have to use it because it's so cool. Not that anyone else cares, but it's really cool. So I am going to get that, and so now because I know what the dot is, if dot and maybe we should say approximately because it could be like slightly off from this. Was I doing that before? Was I like rounding the dot? Let's check here. Is that in my function now? The dot part? What is? Oh, it is rounding it to an int. Yeah, okay, so let's do that as well. Because I'm not doing... No, I don't want to fix the problem yet. I want to force this into an int. You got it. Okay, so now if dot equals 0, i.e. the crisscrossed. Can you just go away, little thing? Oh, we'll even write this as a fungus. Oh, crisscrossed. Forced. No. Crisscrossed. And then the else is parallel. But maybe I do want to handle if are you -1 is they're actually good. They're facing direct. -1 dot equals -1. And then else same direction. So if they are same direction, I might figure out some handling for that, but I don't want to deal with that right now. So right now I'm just gonna like throw a little debug log error, and the error is going to be called quarter generator doors unhandled. Eventually I want to support that, but I don't care for it right now. So, what I'm going to do here is go to dot equals 0 and okay, so crisscrossed is hypothetically easier. Now, the traditional function, right? So if I'm erase, why did I make this tool bigger? I want to file new, unsave. Okay. So traditional function, right? For this is I need to know where two vectors intersect. Essentially, that there's an x. It's an x plus y on one side plus just like their starting point. So much harder with like multiple dimensions. But I guess xy is a variable, so the variable is the vector as a whole, right? So okay, so it's not that, it's so x, which is my, I guess, original starting point. Do I solve for this? Whew, okay. So I have two directions, and they have both starting points, right? And so the way you would draw that on a 2D graph would be you'd have two lines, right? So it'd be in most ones you do like y equals x plus okay, so you have y equals the vector of x plus the offset of x, right? So that's one. So of y1, x1, and x offset. And then, so if you would, then y2, which equals the vector of x2 plus O of x2, then you needed to make these equal each other. So the time when y equals, if you wanted to find the situation where y1 equals y2, right? Is that what you'd do? Or there's an intersection. Is, yeah, you would, so you'd make these two equal each other. So you would write the function as v of x1 plus O of x1 1 equals v of x2 plus O of x2. Now those two are equal, and then to actually solve for one of them, what does actually x represent though in this case? This represents the because this is actually like a known value. This is the starting point, this is their starting point, right? And then this is their vector. And so I would have to I'd have a multiplier on both of these. These would just be constant values. So these would be the things, but I'd want to be finding when those two are the same. Right, when these actually equal the same value. Right, so like the thought that I would have then is that you would basically make this equal to the vx2 plus O of x2 minus O of x1, and then you'd divide the whole thing by the v here. And that would equal x, I think. Wouldn't I have to get rid of this x? I'm so confused. How does this actually get me the value? Because does that work like with just vectors? Oh, hello, Volt13. Yeah, I'm currently making a procedural generation of my game map, right? So I have all these points, and what I'm trying to do in specific is connect some corridors. But to do so, I have these points that are connected here, here, and here. And I want to basically, through math, try to figure out how these all connect to each other. So that's what I'm trying to do. In the larger context, I'm trying to make a horror game that uses Morse code, which I could show off if you're interested in that. Okay, sure. So I have a little testing, which actually has the actual game mechanics in it. So I'm gonna play. Might be in first-person mode right now. Oh, let's maximize this. Maximize. Yeah. So I have a little person here. We're walking through these maps, and each of these doors has a little I value here, and I have to enter that code in the Morse code. So I is ... right? So I have to go ... and then that will open up. It's 3D. I've been trying to test around different perspectives. So I have this perspective, and then also if I apply it and I swap out in this. Where are you? Level manager. Oh no, this is my global settings that I gotta change. Resources, game manager. I have a third-person view of it as well. I'm just using the built-in right now. That's the one I'm most familiar. I haven't experimented too much with the whole like Unity universal stuff. Yeah, so it makes sense. So I also have this view, which is kind of like a top-down view of the same game. So I'm experimenting which one I kind of want long-term, but for now, just supporting both as a kind of like a test line. T is long dash. That opens that door. Oh, is it? Shift space? It must have be like not working right now. Does it like have to be? No, it doesn't work there either. Oh, well, maximize that one. I don't know why it doesn't work. Yeah, maybe like if I'm already in game. So if I go to here and then I go shift space and then go play, it would work. Oh, cool. Seems like you know a lot about Unity. Nice. What have you been using it for? Just like personal stuff, or do you actually use it as a new job? Oh, cool. But yeah, like the basic premise of this is that you could kind of go through doors. I have this demo level where I charge, and then where's art to charge up? You have to kind of get through this vault. And there's a monster that will come out of this door if you open it. So there's dot. Oh, it's G. Got it. Use dash dot, so I have to do it dot dash dot. That gives me a code. Which you can kind of enter into these terminals. So I can grant, and I have to type in EJG. And that opens all the sections doors, and that will open and reveal to me a monster that will probably kill me right now. Monster. Okay. I don't know why he didn't see me there. Now he's gonna kill me. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of what I've been working out. I got like the basic Morse code mechanics working, and then I've been working on getting some level generation that's needs more blood. Yeah. That could definitely be something. It's all pretty basic at the moment. That's why I'm trying to get the level generation done, and then I can make more kind of iterations in the level. If you're interested in trying it out, though, I do have links in a Discord where you can like download it and try it. If you're interested. Yeah. That link. Oh really? You're gonna like log in my own Discord chat before I can paste that. That's the Discord link if you're interested in trying it out yourself. There's multiple difficulties and stuff like that. But the Morse code. Yeah, kind of the general idea though is eventually this is going to be procedurally generated. You kind of go through these ruins of this like old abandoned lab and kind of scavenge it. But the way you open the doors or interact with a lot of things is all going to be Morse code generated, and there's going to be a bunch of monsters and a bunch of kind of just generic threats in the lab. That you have to avoid while trying to like pillage it and raid it. Kind of the concept of the game. I'm definitely gonna use the shift space a lot more now that I know that it exists. It's cool. Okay, I'm gonna go back to procedure generation stuff. I don't suppose you're good at vector math, are you? Fun. It's surprising how many people that are actually like decent, good programmers just are not math oriented, and they seem like initially so intertwined. But it's definitely a certain like solid portion of programming is just like math was never their thing. But I guess the advantage is that like programming mostly does the math for you, but you know. Does help out. The stuff I'm trying to do right now is I know I have two doors in this situation where dot is 0. I have two doors that are either like this or like they're crisscrossed in some way, so they should have an intersection point. I'm just trying to figure out how I math that out, right? And so the intersection is hypothetically section point going to equal to I want to spell intersection wrong too. Intersection point. So I have two forward directions and I have a starting position. So like I was typing here, if the vector of x is I've been using it probably for like 9 years now. Starting like about 2014, I think. Yeah. This is why I might not be up to date. Like, this is why I don't know, like, universal render pipeline crap, because, like, I'm just so used to the old stuff. But I definitely like my other random Unity stuff. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that the difference between rendering pipelines is the rendering part. But like, I assume like you just kind of set it up so that it kind of run like you're more control of like what actually the render passes are. Sorry. Yeah, full control of how the game's rendered. Yeah. It's actually interesting. So I actually have a rendering issue that like one of the guys in my Discord found where like specifically on M1s when he opens the game this happens, but it doesn't happen on like any other builds, even if like the same build on like an Intel Mac and M1, the M1 still does this. And so maybe that's like something rendering. Like a MacBook M1 chip. So the Mac OS. But like a Intel Mac, just fine. Like it renders the background and everything okay. And I've been trying to figure out why that happens. Unfortunately, I don't have an M1 Mac because I'm. Looks like a player issue. Well, it's like each time they open it, it just like as soon as they start the game, it just is black. Like there's no background, and so it's basically as if in the test scene, it's very similar almost to if I clicked play here, I went to my player, and I just like killed the camera, and then like if you notice like, see how like it does all that weird stuff like that. I feel like that's kind of like what he's experiencing. It's like for some reason I guess like the camera just dies on his build. And there's yeah, so it's like some way that Unity is now handling the way that they draw different cameras. Like you used to be able to, like, this is just a HUD, right? It's like an overlay, screen overlay HUD. So that renders fine, but this camera does not. And I take the same build on an Intel Mac and I build it there, and it's fine. So I feel like it's either probably this pixelization, or something to do with like as soon as you have like 2 layers building on the M1 or something, that it just like it only renders one for some reason. Biggest problem honestly is that like because you can only check it every once, yeah, with camera stacking. So I know like in the URPF there's a different way that gets set up, right? Where they actually define kind of like render stacks of cameras. Where like in the old way you have a depth, right? And you just set the depth, and if it's higher it gets rendered later than something that's lower on. Called a render scale. Oh, so you can just like, you don't even have to do like a post-processing, you can just kind of like do it as pixelization with a render scale. Oh, cool. Is it like easy to set that up in like a instance, or does that actually take some time? I mean, I guess the only thing is I don't want to like make the entire UI. Like, I don't want to make the UI have that, but I guess I could manage that if you like render. You decide like you can split up the rendering, right? So you can only do the render scale on the main camera's like render stack, right? Is that kind of how it works? I assume that's kind of how it works. So is this just by this like being in existence? Does this mean I'm using URP? I wonder if that's what's screwing me off. Is that the fact that this exists, and so like that's defining things. Ah, interesting. Do you think if I like just like if I delete this, does that just like stop using URP, or does that like am I now just like locked into URP now forever and ever? I like you have to remove the package. Do I have the URP package? Oh, Universal RP, yeah. Here we go. Okay, so I already have this thing existing, which is probably why things have been pretending to be that way. What if I just bite the bullet and say I'm going to support this and then do it? So, okay, so there's a bunch of light layers, which I assume are just kind of like needed for light layering stuff. But how do I actually, if I add a layer here, and this is the 3D layer though, I don't think I need. What I basically want to do is then is just add like a separate layer for my HUD, and then would probably like to adjust these layers, I guess. Is that what I'm thinking? Because you want, those are global settings. You want quality settings. Okay, so if I go to these are the quality settings I understand. Do I just make a new pipeline asset for that? Is that what you're talking about? Basically, I just make a new one of the. Why can I select? Is this the same thing as the global settings? Why is it the same thing? Changing this to render pipeline asset may take a significant amount of time. I want to do that. Okay, so let's try it. I don't know. See, it's not a huge project. Materials in your project were created using an older version of Universal. Okay, you must upgrade them to be compatible. Okay. Not the graphics. Wait. Oh crap. I thought I clicked X instead of accept, but I guess it's just gonna do it anyways. In the quality tab. Well, it seems to be doing this quickly, so I guess I'll wait until it does that. Whoa. I guess, yeah, doing that in playtime was probably not the smartest. Can we see some quality? Not the graphics. Oh, quality. Okay, literally there, okay. So I changed this pipeline current active level, fantastic. And this is where you set the pipeline. It's the same with warning here. So this is what I'm supposed to do. Again, when I look at this in the inspector, this is just this. Or is this a different thing that it's selecting when I... Universal Render Pipeline Asset. Okay, it is actually a different thing. I guess some... Oh, the Zarin Lab. So this is like the asset that I imported had a Universal Render Pipeline Asset. I probably want to create a new one though, don't I? I would rather probably just create... I assume it's somewhere in here. Rendering. Universal new settings asset, like it's this URP asset. Assume. Let's try that. Render pipeline asset. Definitely we'll have to move this to a different location at some point. The renderer, and there's a pipeline. So let's see. Okay, so there's this one, and then there's this one. So this is the rendering stack, I assume. Okay, so the renderer. And then you actually have this, which I assume is like the kind of like a render stack. This is what it renders, and then this is the whole stack. Oh yeah, there's render scale. Yeah, that's probably fair. I probably can't stumble my way through this and get it set up. I'll look into that later. That's probably, though, part of the reason why the thing is failing, because it is using the universal render pipeline, but then it's not set up so that like the HUD and stuff get rendered separately. That's probably would be my guess as to why all this stuff gets incorrectly rendered. I'll check. So in the main camera stuff, does it? That doesn't change anything though. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look up how you like get a camera to render to a specific one of these things and do all this stuff. That's cool though, how it looks so many options. Idea. Alright, I'm gonna leave that for now though, because that's definitely something that is gonna take way too long. Get into. I'm gonna go back to something, at least I have some concept of progress of where I'm going with this, which is the border stuff. Again, so this is When the probably, I don't know. There's a lot that's just gonna get like added in because like I don't know, Unity just kind of adds them. I don't really like specifically enable them, but they're just gonna get added. Oh no, the transfer code, that's like my own custom little script that I have that I wrote to make this. I just wanted to support snapping a little bit better, so now I can go like just move these things over by my little snap amount. So yeah, I just overrid that. It's my custom little editor. Then like pressing position, we'll just reset it. We'll just set the position back to 0, 0. Yeah, these are just little things that I played around with. So I get line A here. And line A is going to be equal to... None of this stuff really is going to actually do anything right now, but... It gets me going. Type of editor attributes. Ah, cool. You know, it's really cool how much you can just do with Unity in their editor and stuff. One of my favorite things that like I don't have it in this project, but I added it in my day job work stuff is like for all of these object fields, they have like 4 more buttons here, which is an X for just like clear out the field. There's a G for like grabbing a component that's on this game object. There's a C for grabbing a child component, and then there's a P for grabbing anything in the parent. So like in situations like this, if I was trying to get the navigation points, which I know are childs, I could just go C, and then it brings me a drop down of all the options there. I keep meaning to like spend some time doing that, but I just want to get this. I want to get my rooms being created, and then I'll spend some more time probably doing all those type of things again. Okay. Like literally, this does not make any sense as like code. Could add one more button to grab selected stuff from the files. Yeah, I mean, think about this in the files though. Is you can technically already do that, I think, with this, and you go to assets, right? Which gets it from the files, but it's just less. I mean, there's very little ordering to this. Same thing with the scene, right? Like you don't know which parent this is on at all. So actually want to make sure I undo that because I don't want that to do that. But I thought probably though is the next one I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a single button, which is like a dot dot dot, and then it will have like fold outs for game object, parent, child, and then you just select there, so you don't have to have like a lot of buttons there. You just have one big button that you click, and then it has drop downs for everything. Kind of the thought process is I'm going for eventually when I get there. Okay, so I have a float x here, which equals 0 for now, and then I guess alt a and then emit. Oh, sweet. Well, thanks for dropping by, Volt. We'll see you again sometime. Okay. So I got my so basically I'm trying to find the point of what A and B equals that would make these two equal each other, right? Line A and equals B. Right, so that's what I'm trying to solve for. Is I guess if I get one value, I can get the other. It's a thought, but then how do I get one once I don't know the other? Is the tricky point here. Huh. It's very much true. And I could very much say that A right, because the intersection point is if I say what these two equal each other, right? So when point A and B, yeah, this does not make sense to write this really in code, but I'm just trying to write it so that I can understand what I actually need to solve for, right? So, obviously, that's not a valid expression, but if I wanted so I could instead minus point A transform right, and then I would have this times that, like if I'm thinking of variable like x and y type stuff, you would think that then it would be equal to this dividing this. But I don't think you can actually do that. Like I don't think Unity allows you to divide vectors like that. Yeah. So technically, that's what I need to do to connect these. I will just figure it out in 1 second. I'm going to be right back. I just need to wash it. Maybe your back was like frozen for a second. Oh. Okay. So now I'm back. Trying to figure out how to convert this into an actual function that will give me something more that I want. Okay. So I guess I need to convert this instead of just like vaguely. So the forward is also could be interpreted as you could do x over z, right? So the forward of x over z. And that would actually give me a value. Now, I actually know all of these are not going to be like, 45. So actually going to be all either forward, like they're going to have either an x of -1 or 1 or a z value of -1 and 1. I'm not going to have anything other. There's 4 options, right? So maybe just thinking of that way is easier to think of. I'm trying to do some complicated ass math, figuring this shit out. So that might be the better way to do it. Okay. So I already know one is going to be it's dot of 0. One is the x one, one is the y one. Yeah, and that allows me to convert it into a much simpler equation. Okay, let's just file new here. Right, so I just need to figure out which one's the z, which one's the x, and then we know that like from the position, right? Like you have to go a certain amount of x over and a certain amount of y over. And so basically the intersecting point for these guys would be whatever the one with the x direction, you would take its z. Whichever one's z, you would take its x position. Okay. No, that's actually super simple now that I think about it. I was thinking this was way too complicated. Okay. I'm gonna first go bool point A is x. And this is gonna be equal to point A dot forward dot x does not equal 0. Because that means it actually has an x. Alright. And so if it is, then I can say I'm going to put x here, and then I'm going to put z here as the other thing. And then my point, so if point A is x, if it is, the x position is actually not going to be point A. It's going to be point B dot transform dot position dot z. And then otherwise it's going to be, actually, why don't I do it like this, point A, and then I'm going to go parentheses. So I should be getting its x position, because this is the x position, right? And again, if point A has an x value, right, so it's going left and right. Right, pointing to here. This is, because I basically want whichever one has the z direction, I want to get its x. Yeah. So if that, then it's point B. Otherwise, if it's not point X, that means point A has a z. Then yeah, use point A. Yeah, but still use the x value. And then basically the inverse here for little z here. Point A, point B, and get the z position here. And so the intersection point equals new vector 3, x comma 0 comma z. My god. I thought about that way too long for how simple it was. Okay. Now, with that knowledge, I'm going to want to know something else. So this is actually where I have to come start laying down pieces, right? I know that at that intersection point, basically, I will want to put a turn. But I will not want to actually put it down yet. I will just want to like mark it as a turn point, I think. Because potentially later on you might want to like convert it. So how do I do it in a way that ends up being nice? No. That is the question. Do I start like building like a little dictionary that I've said points on, and then if I need to change that point later on, I do that, and then I go through all my dictionary values later on, and then I just instantiate them? And that doesn't sound half bad. The main issue, I guess, with that is just the fact that like I could technically have a point here and a point here that is a straight way, right? But then like if I have a guy coming in here, he's not necessarily going to know when he does an intersection point that something exists there. Right? So that kind of has a problem there. And what I could do is I could sort of define this line here, right? So I like define this section as like a line piece, and then I define this section like up to where it frames as a line piece. So I have some recs there now. I kind of assume all of those positions. And then I can test the lines like that. So again, like this doesn't even have a factor in the bullshit with you know, potential intersection, like rooms being in the way, but it does provide me with a way with handling following sections. Okay, so let me do that. Phone fell over again. It just does not want to stay open. No, it's full charge, so I can just not have its battery charger. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a structure class. I will make a public of this line. Public class corridor section, I guess, or a corridor line. Maybe I should probably just define it like a corridor line. Okay. I think I'm thinking of is that I do need to define map unit grid size. I guess I'm gonna have passed into this the more I think about this, the more I definitely want to have this just like implemented in the map generator, but just to like get the logic, all these crisscrossy things handling. I'm just want to have it in a separate class so I can test it quicker. So I'm just doing 6 now because I'm gonna eventually hand it in there. Okay, but so I have corridor line here. Going to verify with something. Where are you? All right. Okay. Quarter line. What I'm going to have in here is I'm going to have a vector 3. Everything's vector 3s. I wonder if I should still make it. Just make it a vector 3 int, but then it's not going to be like. I'll just make it a vector 3, even though it's going to be always like a solid value. Because everything else will always be a vector 3 anyways. So, yeah, let's just make it that way. And we're going to have a starting position. And then why am I using numerics again? Is it just like the auto? Yeah, just like auto imported that somehow. Okay. That's cool. Thanks, Visual Studio. And then this is going to be I am gonna make this, and this is gonna be direction. So I'm just gonna have position and there's a direction, and then I'm gonna make basically, I think, just a list. Could just make a list, because basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add quarter pieces all the way through, and then if I want to get a specific piece at a specific point from this list, I could I just add that. Like I could kind of like add the points until I find the space in the direction of that it's hitting. Might not be the most performant like at the time of searching for that, but like I'm not gonna be searching that many times. I think so. I'm gonna say that now, but there is gonna be not many times in the particular corridor, but there's gonna be lots of corridors that I'll have to search on. But I think it's probably okay. So yeah, let's just make a public list corridor prefabs. Will always equal new list of corridors. I have a default line. And then oh, evac boom is following. Sweet. Hello, evac boom. How are you? Thanks for following. I assume you don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm a little sick, but this is like my one day off that I get to stream at like an hour that like people are awake at, so I'm taking it. Most of the time I only get to stream at like 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is like most people is like they're asleep by then. It's opposite on the West Coast. So I got the day off, I figured I'd get to stream and get some progress done on this. Maybe get some corridors finally lining up. So just looking at these prefabs, got these corridors. I do probably want to have something to generate some bounds. Do I want to just like create a line first? I just want to do that first. Oh, I just I want something visual, a reward for all this work I'm doing. Okay, so I have an intersection point. So basically what I want to do here is I want to get the distance from point A's transform to this intersection. I don't really even have branding, so I'm just making a game right now. list here of corridor lines. Put that higher up. And then intersection point. So point A, corridor that I'm going to make here. A corridor line. And it's going to start at. Did my music just die? Probably ran out of the playlist. Music. I did like that I was listening to, but let's try. Jeez, what's suspenseful? Oh no, it just disappeared. One is chill, but I just saw suspenseful. I want to see what this is like. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really looking for anything right now. This is just kind of like a side hobby for me at the moment. So point A corridor is going to equal the new corridor line. We should have probably take in public corridor line, and it's going to take in a vector restarting starting position and a vector 3 int direction. So for this, I'm going to get point A, transform position, comma, and then point A dot transform dot forward. No, it's not gonna like that. Can I just explicitly convert it explicitly? Say vector 3 int No, it's not gonna like that. What if I wrapped you in new vector 3 int? Is that gonna accept it? No. Floor to into. Well, in this case, if it's there's a round change. Okay, I'll do the round. Okay. Okay. And then, so my distance though here. I wonder. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how much I should actually do inside the corner line, or the corner line should just be a storage for data. I guess I'm just probably for now I'm going to do it as a storage for data. So float distance. Will equal. Again, using this whole point A is x, so x. The distance would be if A is x, the one that has the x. We're gonna rename this. A is x. A has x forward. I don't know. That's maybe a little bit more direct. And then if distance, so distance now will equal to, if the point A has x forward. So in this case, if it actually is true that A has the x forward, I actually do want the x position. Otherwise, I'd want the z position. Okay, so how do I actually? I guess I'll make a vector 3 here. Offset, I don't know, whatever it's called. From A and this will equal I guess I can actually do all these from this point. Offset from A. Or actually... if point A has the x4, then I'm going to take... This would just be a float. Then it would be point A dot transform dot position dot x. I actually do want to do it the other way, so I want to get x minus. Otherwise, it would be z minus point A dot transform dot position dot z. And then offset from B. Kind of similar thing. I'm gonna do just a knot so that I can keep these more similar. Okay. So if distance, actually no, they're not the distance. So this is just the distance. So now we're gonna go float section lengths of A will equal to, technically because this will just equal set A. Just some classic kind of spooky music. This will equal about a good size. Now, just knowing some small parts of this, right? Like this point here, actually, it'll go a little bit longer, right? Because the corner piece will be like this big, right? It'll have a little bit offset. So maybe I add half a grid size to offset A before I divide by it. So I know offset A, and then I'll minus it from B, because I know B will only go up to this. Okay. So let's just wrap this in here, and then go plus grid size times 0.5f. bigger size. And then, so in this sense, I'm adding half to count for term size. Okay. Okay. So now if or do I actually just do minus it because I know that I'm going to add a turn at the end? I might do that. Yeah, see, I'm actually removing half. So I'll just remove half on each side. That'll add it. So minus, good size. There we go. And so then, it's the simplest way to do while section length of A is greater than 0. So once it equals 0, it'll be out. Now, if section length is greater or equal to 1, if it is greater, I'm going to basically go and take point A corridor and dot prefabs dot add a underscore straight piece dot get random, and I'll put in random there. And I will then pick section lengths minus. Else, so if it's greater than, I still want to probably will still minus it just so it's done, but then add a half piece. Now, I am gonna debug debug.log. Is this like a log if, or isn't there something? Is this the thing? Is this thing gonna have like... No, log error. It's just log. How those... I thought they had a log error if or something, but maybe I'm just assuming that. So if section length of A does not equal 0. Actually, I want to make it. Yeah, section length of A. Alright, so I was gonna go minus equals 0.5f. If math f dot approximately section lengths of A and 0, they're not approximately there. I'm gonna log an error. Okay, go where? Debug dot log error. Whatever generate. I'll either make this a format. Add remaining set of section lengths of A. Then most of the time that should actually be fine, but it actually could be 0 in some cases initially, but that should be fine. If it's negative initially, that would be concerning. I guess pretty much in no case with the way the rooms are being placed, they should never be 0. So it should also it should like always be like 1. But then after this, I'm going to go and sections add. Because I do kind of have to put in a rotation for these. Instead of corridor prefabs, I might actually make another, or just a struct in this case. Public struct corridor placement data. All right, sorry. And what it will have is it will have a public corridor prefab. It will have, I guess I should put the position, or why not? And then a quaternion rotation. And then just, yeah, do this position. Okay. Position. Okay. Instead of adding it to this list directly, I'm going to make it public void add section. In this case, I'm just going to take a corridor, prefab, and I'm going to take a rotation, but I don't need the placement because I confirm the placement from my other positions, I guess. I think that's the best way to do it, is it? Rotation. I can go to prefabs dot add, and then again they're adding order placement data. Actually different. I might not just deal with the position for now. I'll figure that in later. And that would be nice. It's a new order placement data. And so the prefab will equal prefab, and the rotation will equal rotation. Yes, that looks confusing, but I always do semicolons here. It works for now. So now, if I have to look at my pieces, right, all of them, I kind of know what they have kind of established sizing to them. Because otherwise I wouldn't be allowing you to choose them randomly, right? They'd have to actually have some other validation. So I should actually kind of know the sizing. And then they're standardized. They're gonna always have their door locations in the middle. If I get the position now, I don't have to deal with it later, right? So actually, yeah, this is no rotation. This is no rotation. This is no rotation. I don't know if what I should actually default as the rotation, because that obviously does matter. just to some degree, like I should probably have it like assumption that maybe the left is always connected. It's kind of like the starting point. Obviously it doesn't matter with the cross, but it does matter for the turn and for the things there. So maybe I will do that. I'll do it assuming like the left will always have point. And then the next is the up. So let's just go quickly and edit that. Make that actually true. So I can do this. I should be able to. Okay. Boom. Done. Save. And then same process for turn. Just select all of it. And then rotate it. God, why did it move? I just move it back. Okay. Was not happy when that happened there. It's kind of like low-key spooky having this music just play in the background here. Diagonal, I hate you, so I'm just gonna ignore that you exist and not have to deal with the turny portion of you. This the left turny part, I don't know how I'm gonna set that up. So yeah. Okay. Okay. So the rotation that I'm gonna have to go for is the Turnian rotation. Will equal to, so if, for example, this is facing actually, yeah, the way I should have set up the prefabs is so whichever way as point A forwards. Oh, it'd be if I now, for example, this nav point on the right side. No, this is not the right side. This is the right side. Okay. And then I were to look at the local, right? So it's actually going to be if the forward I'm looking at whatever its forward is. I'm rotating the piece. I should have this thing's forward be aligned with that. So probably what I should be doing is the up rotation should be the default assumption. Because then I can just simply say in here, my rotation will equal to quaternion dot look rotation of the coordinate dot transform dot forward and vector 3 dot up. Right. So yeah, let's do that. Okay. Right. And this is no longer just called head section. Okay, so let's go quickly and modify these again. So that everything in here doesn't really matter, I guess, which one is which. But that it has an output that is it the output that comes from the bottom, basically, because if it it has to start on the bottom. So as long as the bottom is a clickable point, then that's fine. So then save that. This guy. Turn's always going to be a funny one because I'm going to always have some modifications handling like which way it gets turned. But should be still fine. Rotate you and then move you back here. Okay. Points are they're not all snapped, are they? That's can I? Oh, okay, so we're on global. That's why. There we go. Now it should be not as better. All axes. Why the Y got set to a weird ass value? I do not know. Oh. Now I know. Okay, well, let's just set all of the Y's back to 0 here. And then we will save that. Now everything should be okay. And yeah, let's set this to like 30. Set this to, again, 30. I guess why don't I just set them to 1? 0. 0. Okay. I want to check. This one's still fine though. Yeah, okay. Great. And then my little 3-way guy. Go to here. Go take all these guys. Let's rotate them so they have a downward spectral, and then let's go to this thing. Align all axes, just so that they. I don't know. That didn't do it. Is this one like off somehow? No? Weird. very strange. Good. Just need to blow my nose, and I don't think people want to be here for that, so one sec. Let's click on. Okay. And so I got this one fixed. That one's fine. Let's just fix these guys, I guess, then. Yeah, this is some messed up. Okay. Let's save that. Just get out for a second. Make this 0. Then go back in here. Take all these guys and make them 0s. The rest of the points are good. Okay. Save. Alright, I have to adjust the bounds here, so instead of 0.6, and then this is -3, and this is 6, and this is 12. Okay. Save, boom. Does this guy really matter in this case? Probably not, but still really bothers me. Like, why? And now it snaps. Maybe it was like secretly a little bit off, but it wasn't showing me because of my inspector. So I might as well just do it, I guess. Just versus 0 out this, so that's not going to cause an issue. Go to here. Take all these. Rotate them down. See if these have some weird positions. They kind of do. Why do they have such weird positions? Point 2. Center point. Should be centered like there. Or at least, okay, so now they're almost there, so now we can go snap them. They should be better. Okay. Cool. Then again, I just need to adjust this. 12, 6, -3, -6. And then save. Out of there, I don't just remove this. But it's actually once it sets properly. Let's go. Okay. So hopefully that actually was meaningful as a change, because then I would just have all these rotations. I pass in the rotation there. And then, right, obviously this is not greatest here. So eventually we'll want to add a corner piece. Get random. Spelling in the random. And then and then supplying in the turn rotation. So this is going to be a little bit different because we're turning in turn rotation equals something. I'm going to just apply that into the bottom here so it stops complaining, but obviously I need to do this part. So if it's coming in, basically if the turn that I'm going to is to the right of my rotation, or of the A direction, then I want to keep it. If it's to the left, I actually need to rotate it 90 degrees so that this will be my bottom and then that will go up. Okay, so how do I figure that out? So I know it's okay. So if the vector 3 dot down dot of point A dot forward, but my right and the point B dot forward. Is so if they're one, if it's one, that means I am kind of going out here and the direction's actually coming in here. Right, so if it's one, I need to, if it's -1, then it's fine. So if it is less than 0, then I just use my rotation. Otherwise, I need to take rotation and multiply it by quaternion dot Euler just to confirm. I would need to rotate it. Is it negative? No, I would need to rotate it positive 90 degrees. (90, 0, 0). That'll rotate at 90 degrees. Oh, no, not on the X, on the Y. 0. Yeah. No overload for add. Oh, again, this is add section. Okay. And then I'm done that whole section. Now I do need to do effectively this section again. Or actually, all the way from here for point B. So let's go see how I can do this. Refactor, extract method. I still edit this and it expects it? No. Okay, well I can probably just then I'll rename it add straight sections to line. Probably what I'll do is I might take rotation out of that. I might just, take this like this. Not making it out. And then actually make this return corridor line. I'm going to rename this point A. All right. Rename this to be corridor line. Actually, so I gotta go rename this. I'll call this create corridor line. Actually, I don't even use intersection point. I just gotta need the X and Z's values to figure out the distance. They're in space there. So weird. Okay. Good now. Woo. So I've got the add sections. I need to probably realistically now. Well, I guess I should add point B's, and then I should make the quarter lines actually know the positions of all these pieces. Yeah, okay, I think that's fair. Just copy this. Rename this to point, and then rename this offset. Section links. Okay. Then I'm going to copy. This lower down. I guess I should have called this one rotation A. Call this one rotation B, and then to rotation A. And rotation B will be point B forward, and that, and then this will be point B corridor. Good size. Point B, offset from B, and then rotation B. Okay. Okay. Rid of that. Now, add these sections. So now I don't want to do the position stuff. Okay, so the position is gonna just be directly relative to whichever length the direction is, right? Okay. So I'm gonna have an underscore here of our private vector 3, and it's like current on pose, I guess. And when I create this, I'm gonna make this dot underscore current spawn post equals starting position. And then each time we add something, I'm gonna get this position, vector 3. It does really feel like I'm living in a horror movie. I don't know if I like it or hate it, but it's a feeling. Okay, so I'm going to take my current spawn position, and then I'm going to add. This is what basically where the center is. Now, this really matters what the direction is. So the actual, I need to make another one here called vector 3 offset, and it's going to equal to my prefab dot. I'm gonna have to like do the get bounds or something, right? Door locations, room bounds. Because this is like a list of ins. It's kind of annoying. Because most corridors, I think, aren't going to have multiple of these, but it's up for freaking diagonals. How do I get generate world bouncer position? Because you have to actually have it does a rotation. Problem is that I don't really want to wait this. This is so ugly. Things in. I don't want to look at that yet, though. Offset. Set generator world bounds for position. I could just for now get like the first one. But the actual thing I just want to probably do is I will go through their bounds. About 0. I'm just gonna do 0 for now, and then I'm gonna figure that out later. the offset is basically how much. I'm gonna have to rotate this shit though. Because yeah, they certainly will have different. Maybe I should do the world rotation then. Is it, if I do world bounds, does that automatically generate them if they're... Okay, I want to go to world bounds declaration. World bounds at length. Okay, so I will generate them from that. So that's, I think, what I want to do here is just get the world bounds. No, it's 0 again. Store rect int world bounds. So actually, don't I need to generate the world bounds for? I do actually. So. Again, I need to generate bounds for position. Yeah. Current spawn position. Rotation and padding is 0. Okay. And so if I'm centering that, I want to make an offset that's going to be equal to a new vector 3 of my world bounds. Again, I still have to do this to do handle multiple array values. Again, only the diagonal doesn't have one, so it should be okay for now. Okay, so I'm gonna take world bounds dot x comma and then 0. It's on x. It's gonna be width, right? And then this one is gonna be world bounds dot height, and I'm gonna make sure that the game converts these to floats. Float. Float. Definitely feel like I'm about to be murdered. This sound. So the direction. Again, I'm probably just gonna remake this actually into a non. Even though I kind of did like the int idea, I no longer like it. So create quarter line, where do I have to fix this? I guess it can still get rounded, but then it'll get cast back to a normal load. Now, height times the direction z, and this is going to be times by direction dot x, and then I'm going to times the whole thing by half times 0.5f. Only need half, because then this is gonna inform me about the offset. Which I add on to this part, which should give me the position. So I can say position equals position. Semicolon. And then I will set current spawn position to be equal to position plus another offset, because offset is obviously half. So now that is equal to that. Okay, and now I want a public void spawn prefabs. I'll just say spawn corridor. Corridor. Okay, I just want to get this done. Once if this actually works, it'll be a perfect staff exploit. Because I feel like I've already let the wife with the baby for too long. So I get add section. So now in this situation, I'm only going to go through for each. I'm going to rename this to spawn data or something. Yeah. For each corridor placement data, and spawn data. Instantiate a placement data dot prefab at a placement data dot position at a placement data dot rotation. Okay. So now obviously this is just handling point B, point A is 1/4. Yeah, this only handles like 2 connections that are curved. So we'll see if this even works at all. If it does, I will be amazed. Okay, which one is this? It's this one. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go to this guy, my Eld room. I want to go to the nav points. I want to go and pick this guy. Yeah, that's the guy that I want to drag to corridor thing. So let's just look in lock corridor. So this doesn't go away when I go to room L and then select this. Okay. Connect in there to connect in there. Okay. Let's see if this works. See if it at all works. I don't know if I actually even compiled my code. I didn't compile my code, so let's just do that first. And then I will say again. Oh my god, it spawned things. Now, the things it spawned don't look very correct, but it did spawn things. In a somewhat good fashion. Alright, I have 15 minutes basically left to stop. So I assume it just kind of spawned these things down here. Okay, so we got a turn. The turn is not at all where it's supposed to be. It's got a straight, and a half straight. Is the offset? I'm probably not making this an absolute value. I need to make this an absolute value. That's probably part of my problem here. Math F dot absolute. Math F dot absolute. Okay. I'll give this guy a little try. Yeah, negative 2.5 means totally that. Oh, God. Recompile. Recompile, man. Yeah, because it's saying negative 2.5, it's like drastically overestimating. Okay. Now, it's definitely extending too far now. So, straight, turn. Straight, half straight. Okay, so it's basically either doing 1 or 1.5 too long. Weird. Okay. Um, So it's it should be minusing this. So okay, let's just breakpoint this. Hash to unity. Because like what it should be is 1, 2. Yeah, goes for the first part. So one should be 12, and one should be 18 as distances. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. Let's see what I actually get. Okay. Offset is what? Basically 12. Okay. So would be 9. Oh no, I should actually be minusing a full grid size here because the half, it is a full half, right? Like it's a full grid point. So that part, okay, that part does make some sense there. So yeah, let's save that, and then because wait, one of these is a good size, right? So there's 2 of those in a turn. Oh, which actually means as well. Okay. If it is less than, if it's greater than 2, then I minus 2. Otherwise, I will minus by 1. Yeah. And of course I didn't recompile. Yeah, because I forgot that obviously, even though I call it a half size, it's actually a 1 size, and the other one is 2 by 2. Okay. So I've recompiled. Okay, so now the only thing wrong is the direction that I've rotated the corridor turn piece. And so I guess I should have rotated the other way. Why doesn't this turn out? Okay, that's kind of weird. Oh, because I'm editing this, not the corridor turn. So yeah, it should have been 370. So it's maybe I rotated it when I should have. Let's take a look at that. So it's greater than 0. Let's try that. Recompile. Yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, wait. That's actually right. Okay. So I have a half straight here. Connects into a turn, then connects into a full straight here. Oh my god. I have a corridor. Magical. And I still have to like connect some things here. Let's just do some quick testing here again. In my last few minutes that I have, let's just rotate them. Make sure it works the other way around. Okay, it does not. So there must be something that I'm doing with the directions of the turn, right? This turn. Right, so again, I guess local, what is his forward direction? His forward direction is that. Wait, so then if this guy is this one, there might be some other thing that I'm missing here. Like 3 minutes. No, it still is not correct. Okay, so that's something I guess I'll still have to figure out why that was not working. Yeah, it was like completely immersed. I'm gonna have to like map out that, but that's something I can note down. Last, okay, it's just last but not least, I'm just gonna have this point. I just want to see as well if quarter generator, lock this again. Then I go here, here. I drag this point instead of this one. Let's see. Honestly, if it's only the turn part that's not correct, I can definitely work with that later. But something's wrong there. It has an extra half for some reason, but it still spawns the turn. Yeah, okay, so there's a rounding error there. Honestly, I should just round it to an int when I take it in here. F dot round to int. I'll just do round. Of course, I didn't compile, but I probably won't have time to even see that. Okay, so then that one actually perfectly works. But I assume again is it's like an order thing, right? So if this one is the other way around, it's got the inversed things. So there's something to figure out there. that's something I can figure out at another time. It's time to say farewell. I must go take care of a sick little baby. My wife. So, whoever did watch, thank you. But I shall be saying adieu, farewell, and see you next time.